Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javanokelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much. Greetings, village. Thank you for joining me for another incredible session of the Daily African Proverbs. Thank you, Ned, for joining me for today's session of the Daily African Proverbs. We are right now live on YouTube, and we are also live and direct here on Clubhouse. Today, we are taking a virtual journey all the way to Mozambique. Where we are going to discuss an amazing proverb from there. Welcome my brother Walter Koga, joining us all the way from Nairobi, Kenya, in the building. I deeply appreciate that. Every day we gather here and we discuss these amazing proverbs and we learn something new from them. And that is also what we are going to do today. I want to just finish setting up in order for us to flow smoothly. My hope is that we are going to be here for about 30 minutes for today's session. And our proverb is from Mozambique, as I said earlier, and it says that on a dead tree there are no monkeys. On a dead tree there are no monkeys. This one is a really great proverb, and I think it's timely considering what's going on currently, especially in Kenya. There's a debate in Kenya around trees and around whether this system that is called the shamba system that allows farmers to go and cultivate forest land, whether this system is the best system or the best system is where forest is kept from people. Forests are kept from farmers so that trees can be preserved, so that more trees are planted instead of cutting trees to create farmland. So this proverb comes at a very timely moment, and I'm going to expand on this shamba conversation that is going on currently in Kenya. I'm going to expand on it in just a moment. I just want to welcome Brother Rushi, and of course, Ned, I want to welcome you on stage. If you have a moment, join us. And I also want you to take a minute and ping in 3 to 5 people from your own community here on Clubhouse and also outside of Clubhouse, whether it's on WhatsApp, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on Twitter. I want you to share the link to today's conversation so that we can invite some of your own community members to join us. We're also live on YouTube, and I want to urge you who is watching right now to subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. That's one of the ways that you can support this movement that we have been building over the last year and almost 2 years, So as usual, I'm going to share with you the 3 nuggets of wisdom from my team for you to take away with you for the day. But when you think about this amazing Mozambique proverb, we haven't discussed a Zimbabwean proverb in a while, so we need to line up a Zimbabwean proverb very soon. But today we are in Mozambique, and when I think about Mozambique, currently there is actually instability in the northern part of Mozambique, the oil-rich region of Mozambique. What's funny is that every oil-rich part of the world, especially in Africa, there is always a conflict. And, I think this proverb also speaks about that. There is always a conflict around areas where we have resources, where we have natural resources. So we will talk about that in a moment. But this proverb is, it's a reminder. It reminds us and it inspires today's topic that warns us about putting all our eggs in one basket, And in many parts of the world, as you know, this proverb says that on a dead tree, there are no monkeys. On a dead tree, there are no monkeys. And globally, monkeys are usually depicted as mischievous creatures, and normally they are portrayed in children's stories, whether it's cartoon, whether it's books. They are always portrayed as, these creatures with, incredible abilities to climb and get to places that, normally people are not expected to be at. You can't imagine somebody climbing the places where a monkey can climb. I remember one time I lived in Nairobi at an apartment building in I think it's in Kilimani, in Kilimani area, and I was maybe on the 7th or 8th floor, and I was having breakfast in the balcony, had a banana and coffee, and I went inside the house to bring something. I can't remember what exactly I went to grab from the kitchen, and I left the door open. And when I turned around to go back to the balcony where I was sitting, the monkey was there was a monkey there grabbing the banana and actually sitting on the same chair where I was sitting. And when I walked towards it, it didn't even move. It was so used to human beings. Instead of running outside the house, it actually ran into the house. So it was a lot of drama for this monkey to actually get out of the apartment building. Anyhow, so when you think about this Mozambican proverb, it warns us that we should not put all our eggs in one basket. We should not put all our eggs in one basket. It says on a dead tree there are no monkeys. So we should not let the tree die so that there are no monkeys there. And this proverb also clearly it means that if you put your trust in one person or one thing, you might be disappointed. You might be disappointed. So it's a cautionary kind of proverb. Here are the 3 takeaways that I want to share with you all before we begin getting perspectives from our incredible speakers who are on stage. I see that we've been joined here by Thabiso Bell. Thank you so much. And Handrian, thank you so much for being here. I want to encourage you, each one of you who is here with me on Clubhouse, before I share these nuggets, I want to encourage you to take a minute and ping in 3 to 5 people to join us in the room right now, and share the link to the room. I want to see the shares increasing down there at the bottom of your screen on Clubhouse. And also I want you to just leave a comment as you share. I want to do that right now. So I've done that, and I hope you do the same. Share it on Twitter as well. And now typically when we gather here, especially this is for those who are joining us for the first time, we pick an African proverb, and we do this Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And with these proverbs, we dissect them, and our hope is that we ourselves, we gain African wisdom. We gain wisdom from each other, from this proverb. And there's another African proverb that says, wisdom is like fire. People take it from each other. So our purpose here is to really sharpen each other and to build a strong community grounded on African wisdom. So today we are discussing a proverb from Mozambique, and it says that on a dead tree there are no monkeys. So if you are a speaker on the stage, think about what this means to you. I'm going to give you a chance in just a minute to share your own perspective, and also share with us where you are joining us and how you're doing today. So also, I normally share 3 nuggets every day that is related to the proverbs that we bring. So the 3 for today are, number 1, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify. Even if it's your sources of revenue, diversify. Don't just rely on a job because you love the job. Find a way to also earn revenue somewhere, so that in case the job goes away, especially with the current economy, I hear from many people that I know personally that their companies are letting people go in droves. I hear from managers and directors of companies who currently here in America have to have difficult conversations with their employees. So don't put your eggs in one basket. Number two, you never know what could happen. When you think about this proverb, on a dead tree, there are no monkeys, because of the uncertainty that, you can put yourself in by just depending on one thing, by just investing in one thing, and also by not making sure that the tree does not die. You need to secure, whether it's just the tree, like literally, or whether it's something else that the tree or a dead tree symbolizes in this proverb, or a monkey symbolizes in this proverb. What it's teaching us is that you can never be so sure with things in life. You might plan one way and life has a different plan. So you must be prepared and ready for the changes that sometime we really don't even know are going to come our way. And then finally, always have a backup plan. Always have a backup plan. If something unexpected would happen now, what would you do? Who would you call first? And what would you then spend most of your time doing? Let's say it's still about your job. You've been working for the same company diligently for even 15 years. But now the skills that you have are not needed anymore because technology is automating processes. What are you going to do? What skill are you going to learn? Before it comes to the point where you need to apply those new skills, you already need to be practicing, because you never know when you might be called upon to make that switch. So those are just a few remarks to get us started. I want to hear the voices of my friends and family here. I want to hear from Rushi and Lavender and Brother and Latanja. But I also want to welcome everyone else who is listening to us, to join us and contribute your voices. But especially those who are joining us on YouTube. I really thank you so much. I want you to leave your comment in the chat so that I know who you are and where you're joining us from, and also what today's proverb means to you. So without further ado, I want to welcome my brother Rushi to just share your perspective on today's proverb and where you're joining us from, and how you're doing.
Thank you, Simon. I am doing well this morning. Man, I am in Charleston, South Carolina right now. That's where I am calling you from. That is my hometown, actually. And man, this proverb, I wish I had this proverb earlier in my life. I can tell you that. This proverb really makes me think of, I'm a person who's an advocate of business. I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own business. But this proverb really speaks to me because it is so important to not put all your eggs in one basket. As an entrepreneur, we always preach about having multiple streams of income. You have to have more than one ways to put food on the table. You have to have more than one ways. There's more than one ways to cook that egg. You can scramble it, you can boil it. You have to be, you have to know the different ways that you can eat. But this proverb, it also makes me think about, uh, we always say you have to be fruitful and multiply. You have to multiply the things that you do. You have to be able to be broad in the knowledge that you know. in your life. And this proverb also makes me think of, it says, on a dead tree there are no monkeys, and that's a very powerful statement to make. I think when I look at my house, I have all these trees in my yard, all in my backyard, and I said to myself, what if I only had one tree? What would that mean? What would that look like? How would that impact my life? Just having one tree when I live on a piece of land that's 3 acres, well, I have an actual forest in my backyard. So it's such a beautiful thing to see when you have uh, multiple things, multiple things that are around you. So it makes me think of that. And also in business, I this is something I actually wish I thought of earlier in this year when I was putting all my eggs in one basket. I was just looking at one thing, and I actually had to stop. I think there was another proverb that was kind of similar to this. It has something to do with eggs. And I thought about that proverb and I said, you know what? I feel like I am doing that in this situation. I'm only focusing on one thing. And this proverb also makes me think about being able to practice patience when you have a situation that you're trying to conquer. You have to have patience and you have to look at other avenues to get to where you want to go. So those are the things that come to my mind with this proverb, practicing patience, being mindful, being able to look at things from more than one angle. You have to be able to you have if you have two eyes, you have to be able to use those two eyes, and sometimes you also have to be able to use that third eye that we all have. Uh, and when we're dealing with situations, whether it's a business situation or it's a situation where you're dealing with friends or family, there's always more than one way to get to your goals. And you have to be able to be patient, but you also have to be able to practice other ways of getting a job accomplished. It is so important to be able to do that. And thus, that is what I have to say about this proverb. I look forward to hearing what everyone else on the stage has to say because this is definitely a proverb that we can learn so much from. So I am so excited to hear what the other guests have to say in reference to this proverb. Thanks.
Thank you, brother Rushi. Yeah, I love your perspective on this proverb, and also how you broke it down. That it teaches us patience. The importance of being patient, and also the importance of really looking around you and knowing what is it that is around me right now, and what if I lost all of it and I was only left with one thing. What would that one thing be? But also you talked about the value of having multiple streams of income. It's easy to say, but it's so hard to do. It takes discipline. It takes what yesterday's proverb was talking about, the discipline and the perseverance in order for you to have multiple streams of income. So I want to hear what Lavender has to say about today's proverb. We are here in the African Father in America Club. We are recording this session for the African Father in America podcast, which is available across all podcasting platforms, on Apple, on Spotify, on Amazon Podcast. You can catch it, and also on YouTube where we are live right now. You can also catch the African Father in America podcast. I see that we've been joined by Melissa. Thank you for taking the time and for joining us for today's conversation. It's really, it's deeply appreciated. I also see that Jen has joined us. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. We are here discussing a proverb from Mozambique, and we are dissecting it and getting some words of wisdom from it. So we are creating space for our speakers on the stage. We just heard from Rushi, and now I want to hear briefly from Lavender. Lavender, when you think about this proverb that we're discussing from Mozambique, what is it that comes to your mind?
Hi Simon. Hi everyone. Simon, will you confirm if you can hear me, please?
Yes, I hear you. Thank you so much.
Um, thank you for the opportunity to share, and thank you everyone who's joined us today. This is Lavender. I'd like to start by reading a comment from Andrene Bona. She's in the room. She says, "The oppressor writes your back because you're valuable. Don't believe when the oppressor says you're worthless. You're worth more." I like that comment, and I thought I'd read it to everyone who's not looking into the comments. Also, my thoughts about today's proverb: on a dead tree, there are no monkeys. What comes to mind is we are being encouraged to be resourceful. Uh, Whatever you're good at, make sure you refine and define it as frequent as possible. Develop your skills, those things you're passionate about. Sometimes you're not passionate about something, but it's of value in this world. When COVID hit, a lot of us had to adjust um, to the new form of doing things, uh, switching to online, thinking outside the box. So, when we are resourceful, you're always bound to survive any storm. Thank you so much, Simon.
You're most welcome, Lavender. Thank you for your contributions. I love it. I love it. And also love the comments from Adrene that you shared earlier. Thank you again. I see that Jay has joined us, and Cabs, and Greg, and Gozi. Thank you so much. We are here for the Daily African Proverbs. And as usual, we have an amazing African proverb, this time from Mozambique. And it says that on a dead tree, there are no monkeys. And we've dissected it in different ways. I've shared the 3 nuggets for today, inspired by this proverb. And this proverb really also speaks to the importance of not putting all your eggs in one basket. So now I want to go on to Brother Earth and hear what Brother Earth has to say. But before that, I just want to invite everyone who is watching on YouTube, take a moment and subscribe to the channel. And if you have already subscribed to the channel, push the thumbs up button so that on this video, we can just give it more visibility across YouTube. Thank you so much. Brother Earth, how are you? Where are you joining us from? And what does this proverb mean to you?
Peace and love, family. This is Brother Earth. I'm coming from the North Carolina territory. And, greetings to you and the family, Simon, for always sharing the wisdom of the ancestors and you being so diligent. And when I look at the proverb, on a dead tree, there are no monkeys, um, how I look at that is don't allow yourself or don't put yourself in the position of stagnation. You know, you could be in certain relationships, you could be on certain jobs, or just be around certain people. It's like a dead tree. You know, for if you look at it for the a monkey, a dead tree can't provide food. It can't provide shelter like that because it's constantly decaying. Um, and then as it's dying, the tree is brittle and it's becoming a danger to the monkey trying to climb it, really and truly. So, with all that being said, is you know, put yourself in a situation or a position where life is constantly being renewed, where you have an opportunity to grow, where you have an opportunity to evolve, or where things are um, flourishing and not dead. And I'm gonna park my plane right there. Peace and love, family. It's Brother Earth.
Yeah, peace and love to you, Brother Earth, as well. Yeah, I love your perspective, especially how you shared that it's important that each of us, we need to put ourselves in a position where things are flourishing. We water our gardens, we water our trees, we make sure that the trees are not dead. I love that. And also, I just want to thank you all for taking your time and joining us for today's session. We call this show the Daily African Proverbs, and we record each conversation as an episode of the African Father in America podcast. This is episode 263. You can catch the podcast across all podcasting platforms. On Apple Podcasts, we are now a 5-star rated podcast, and we have, so many of you have gone to Apple Podcasts and subscribed. We encourage you to do that. And also, when you're there, make sure you rate the African Father in America podcast, because that's very, very important for the growth of this platform. Without further ado, I want to welcome Sister Latanja. Share with us what today's proverb means to you, where you're joining us from, and how you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simon, for always being resilient and consistent. I'm doing very well, and thank you for asking here in Marietta, Georgia. I did take on the African proverb of on a dead tree, there are no monkeys. I take it as the tree of life allows us to yield fruit to bear in replenishing the earth. The African proverb reminds us to take care of ourselves, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And in that way, we can begin to have fun by playing, laughing, and enjoying life more abundantly as it's meant. And it also tells me that living together in harmony, honor, and humility. A tree lives in order we all recognize the seasons of change. Therefore, on a dead tree, there are no monkeys. Life reminds us to wake up from the slumber and understand we can still make lumber. Be accountable for your actions and add to the development of grabbing on to faith and fortitude like fractions. And I yield my mic.
Thank you, Latanja. I love that. And, just thank you for always bringing your gifts, every day. Latanja has been super, super supportive of this platform, and I deeply appreciate you. Melissa, how are you doing? I haven't heard your voice in a while, and I would love to hear your own perspective on today's proverb. On a dead tree, there are no monkeys. Also, let us know where you're joining us from and how you're doing today.
Absolutely. It's so good to see you, Simon. I am Melissa Perkins, and I am based in Asheville, North Carolina. I think brother said he was in North Carolina too. So it's always good to see fellow North Carolinians here on the app. And so I just had to come and support this this room anytime there's enlightenment happening, especially from or influenced by the motherland. I just have to be here. And I love that you're doing a proverb. And for me, on a dead tree, there are no monkeys. For me, the tree has always been used a lot in philosophy. I'm a philosopher to represent life, the tree of life, for example. And so when I think of a tree being dead, I immediately think that there's just no life to it. There's no life, and part of what gives us life is knowledge, is the ability to know how to make our trees alive, to know how to flourish and have those leaves. What attracts the monkeys to the tree is they're looking for protection. They're looking for shelter. They're looking for a place that they can make home, that they can eat, and that they can get shade from the sun. So the tree represents so much. It's a whole ecosystem. And I think that for me, I avoid dead trees. I avoid situations. I avoid pockets of collectives of people where they're not speaking life, where they're not talking about things that lead to my growth, my development as a human being, as a leader, I just, I'm not going to be on that tree. I'm not going to be around that situation because I'm exposed. I'm exposed to things that don't serve me. And it's super important at this juncture in my life that I'm around. I would consider this a healthy tree. Being an African father in America, around people like Simon and others in the room, conversations that enlighten me, that give me ideas, that spark my creativity, that encourage me to be loving and encourage me to lift up others. So thank you for this amazing jewel and nugget you've given me to contemplate on today. Melissa, done speaking.
Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, I just appreciate you, and I also appreciate you for all the, of course, the nuggets of wisdom you shared with us now, but also the amazing work you do in the world, providing education and using technology to enhance educational opportunities for those that need it the most. So keep up the good work. I want to now invite Jay. Jay is going to be our last speaker for today. And Jay, I'm probably going to put you on the spot a little to talk about, four black women, talking. So if you want to just share your perspective on this proverb, but also speak to the amazing play that you currently have going on here in Seattle, and how anybody who is listening or watching can support. Thank you so much for being here, Jay.
Oh, that's really kind of you. Thank you so much, Simon. And brother, I had to chuckle when you said that, a dead tree is a danger to the monkeys. And that was so true. That's so true. And Melissa, you're hard to follow because I agree with every word that came out of your mouth in terms of your understanding of this proverb and how it applied to you. For me, I was thinking about the paparazzi and the monkeys being like a paparazzi. As long as you have something going on in your life, where they can benefit from it, where they can shine from it, that they're around you as long as you have something happening that's going to benefit them in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And as soon as that changes, all of a sudden, all those monkeys leave. You're not as valuable. You're not as important. You're not needed anymore. So that's what I thought about this proverb. Regarding four Black women talking, it's over now. It will be available shortly on demand. But it was, having been raised in the Pacific Northwest, specifically Tacoma, and my family they were born and raised in Arkansas. When I say my family, I mean my parents who were raised in Arkansas. Your Stamps, your Little Rock, your El Dorado. But once they left Arkansas, they were done with the South and they never went back. Well, I shouldn't say never. One time, I do recall one time they went back. And so I didn't have that connection with any of my sisters that were raised in the South. A lot of the things that were happening during the civil rights movement, during Jim Crow, I also observed myself on television, and there was no direct relationship or connection with that. And so I decided that I wanted to put on this production called Four Black Women Talking. And these are women that represent four different regions in this country during the civil rights movement and during Jim Crow. And their whole purpose was to talk about what their experiences were, not in general, but exactly what they went through, what they dealt with, what influenced them, what impacted them, and how it affects their lives today. And then we had a vocalist who sang songs that stood out for these women during this particular time in their lives. And so it was really poignant. It was very touching. It was extremely moving. And afterwards, we had a talk back, and we just had to shut it down because there was so much that were in the hearts and the minds of all the people in the audience that they really wanted to share and get off their chest. And I just felt it was truly an invaluable discussion, invaluable, and that it honestly did show that even though we're all African Americans or Blacks, that our experiences were very different, and how those experiences shaped our lives and what we think and how we live and how we view things today. So, yeah, it's over and it'll be on demand within a week. So thank you so much, Simon, for allowing me to share.
Hey Jay, I just want you to know that I'm really, really proud of you for the work that you did with 4 Black women talking, but also the work that you do in the community. And I honestly feel that I haven't been a good friend to you, so forgive me. I could have done a much better job and attended this show, and I will make it up to you, I will make it up to you.
Please, I apologize for interrupting. This is how you're a good friend to absolutely every single person that crosses your path. You are extremely inspiring, and you inspire people to be the best that they can be. And just by being in this room, I remember when you first started, Simon, and I am so incredibly proud of you and impressed by you. And because of you, you help to push people to do more and to be better and to remember their ancestors and their whole goal in being the best they can be for themselves and for their community. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. I can't say much. I can't say much because we are connected, and I'll reach out to you. I have multiple ideas as a follow-up to this moment here, but I'm truly, truly humbled by everything you just said, and really your presence. I feel that you've been such a supporter of my work here in Seattle. And it was just beautiful seeing you at Madaraka too. I feel like it was a dream because, I saw you and I saw Judge, I can't remember the name of the King County judge that was there. Remind me his name.
McCullough.
Yeah, and I have so much love and respect for him. So I feel like you and him were in the same. I was seeing you in like split seconds. Him, you, and multiple people that I have so much love and respect for. But I feel that I need to sit down with you and we need to break bread, and I need to do the same with him. I need to live a little, Anyhow, I'm just so grateful. Today has been an amazing session. And, again, thank you, Jay. But also thank you to Kay Benjamin, who is watching on YouTube. Kay has also blessed us with a lot of her time over the last year or so. She shares in the comments that if you have no troubles, you are not living. If you have no troubles, you are not living. And that's her interpretation to today's proverb. But I also just quickly want to give a shout out to Dominique, who just joined us, and Rocky and Marlen and Gozi, and to all our guests who are watching on YouTube and everyone listening on Clubhouse. This is the end of our time together today. We are back here tomorrow for the Daily African Proverbs again at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And our guest tomorrow is going to be Chioma Sheri, who is an incredible poet, Wednesdays, we are focusing on poetry. We take these proverbs and turn them into a poem. And so join us for that. Chioma is based in Philadelphia, and she's just a really, really gifted young, poet that you need to, join us for the time that we're spending together with her tomorrow. Again, many of you are always asking, how can we support? How can we be more involved with the work that you're doing? The best way to do that really is connect with me on Instagram. I put a lot of work on Instagram and a lot of content on Instagram, but also I'm always checking my DM there. So if you want to engage with me faster, that's one way to connect. It's at Okello Javan, and it's connected to my profile here on Clubhouse. Again, thank you for taking your time to join us for today's session. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace and love.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.